Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing, an inside look at the many facets of work that is happening at the Department of Children and Families, between our staff, the families we serve, and our community partners. My name is Jaqueline Ford. I have had the honor of working for the department for almost 30 years. And although I may be familiar with many of the topics we bring to you, I have invited experts in those fields to help us dispel the myths and misconceptions that can often be barriers to our work. Join us as we open our doors and invite you to have a seat at our table. Welcome to Doors to Hope and Healing. My name is Jaqueline Ford, and I am your host today. We will be shining a light on a very special little girl, Mickelea, who has complex medical needs and is ready for a placement into a loving foster home. Joining me are two dedicated professionals who have been walking alongside her and other children just like her. Lisa, a nurse with the Department of Children and Families, and Georgia, her DCF social worker. Thank you both for joining me on Doors to Hope and Healing. It's wonderful to have you here. We're gonna be talking about a very special little girl, and our viewers who are watching are gonna learn all about her and what the next steps would be if they were interested in providing a resource for Mickelea. But before we get started, Lisa, can you share a little bit about your background? Lisa, I'm looking at Georgia, but I'm asking you. So can you share a little bit about your background and about your role as a nurse with DCF?
Yes, so I've been a nurse since 1996, and I have been a nurse practitioner since 2012. I've always been a strong advocate for children, especially children with complex medical needs or other needs, and that's what drew me to DCF.
Well, welcome, and thank you for that work that you do. It's definitely heavy work working with our kids that have these complex medical needs. Georgia, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been with DCF and your experience with child welfare?
I've been with DCF for 2 years now. The 20th actually made 2 years since I've been with DCF. I've been in this field for over 20 years. I came into social work in 2024, and I've been in CPS since then. Mickelea was my first case when I came to DCF, so she's especially special.
Yes, and I love the fact that she's been in your life for 2 years, and I think you're the best advocate for her and the best person to have on our show to talk about what it's like to be her case manager. Lisa, what does a typical day look like for a DCF nurse? Because I don't think many of our viewers who are watching, they may not understand that DCF has nurses that are working with our children.
So each region has 3 to 4 nurses working with the social work staff. We are consultants and help the social work staff understand medical terminology. We also help figure out medical complexities of the children and what they may need going forward. And also not just medical complexities, but all children in DCF, their medical care needs. We help communicate with the providers. We do medically complex home visits or other visits based on what the social workers think the children need. And that's essentially what we do. We don't do any direct care.
It's more on a consultant basis.
Yes.
Where DCF social workers will consult with you for advice and
and assistance with anything for children and their medical needs.
Okay. Now, Georgia, what's a typical day like for you as a social worker?
A typical day for me is more than likely meetings. Sometimes.
Lots of meetings.
Lots of meetings, unscheduled meetings, and home visits, and my visit to see my children, including Mickelea.
How do you balance, having a child that has medical needs like Mickelea has, and we're going to get into what those medical needs are, but how do you balance a child that may have that high level of need and maybe another child on your caseload that may not have that high level of need?
It's a lot of teamwork and just collaborating with, the other team members that are on the team with us. For Mickelea, for instance, she has a lot of people involved in her care. And so I consult with them on a daily basis to see how she's doing, where she's at, where I can be of support to her and to the team as well. Another child on my case may not require that much attention. and I just try to meet each needs based on, the child's needs at that present time.
And I think it's so important what you said about teamwork, because we have, such an exceptional team at DCF, and the nursing staff. Are you still under the RRG? Is it still the Regional Resource Group? I've been here for so many years, and we change names and initials for so many different things. But I think that teamwork is what really makes the most success for our children and our families that we serve. So let's talk about Mickelea, because that's why we're here today. We're here to talk about Mickelea. Can you share an overview of her journey, her early years, and how she came into our care?
So Mickelea is 7 years old now. She just turned 7 a few days ago. She's a special little girl. Not only to me, but in her own right, Mickelea is very special. She's a very loving little girl. Unfortunately, she had a very rough start. She was born with positive. Well, let me back up a little bit. When she was born at 38 weeks. She was 6 pounds and 2 ounces.
Wow.
She was never accepted by her mom. And so she was born positive to cocaine and opiates. And that's where her journey begins. She was placed in the care of DCF from birth, and had her first foster care home right after being discharged to DCF. She was in that home until 2020, when she had to be hospitalized, and she was moved because of those needs, because of issues with weight gain. So she's had a very rough life. And I think for Mickelea right now, what she needs is just what she has been missing. That love, that affection, a home to call her home. I call it her forever home.
Her forever home. So
Yes.
she's been with us for 7 years.
Yes.
Such a long time. Lisa, from your perspective, what are some of Mickela's most significant medical challenges that is important for our viewers to know?
So, as Georgia pointed out, she was not gaining weight. She was failure to thrive, and that was a real challenge. She has a gene mutation, which doesn't have like a name like some of them do, but that gene mutation caused her to have global developmental delays. So she needs help with all of her care: bathing, dressing, getting up into the chair. She can be somewhat spastic with her movements, so she gets medication for that to kind of calm her muscles down. Initially, she's had a G tube since, for I would say probably 6 years. So, but she was having trouble gaining weight. They put in the G tube. Then she was having a lot of trouble with vomiting. So she had a surgery which corrected that, and she no longer vomits. She's been gaining weight. She's about 41.5 pounds, I think, now. She's really thriving. Georgia will tell you she is kind of a busybody. She's always trying to see what's going on with the people at where she lives. She's like cranes her head. She tries to see what's going on. She knows different people's voices. I think she would really thrive with the right family, people that are a comfort to her, people that she understands, people that she knows, the sound of their voice. She does use oxygen at night, but not during the day, and occasionally will need to be suctioned, but not deep suctioning, just her mouth. Like she does have a lot of saliva. They do give her medication for that, and but from where she was to where she is now, she's really doing a lot better. They've been able to not correct, but lessen some of her symptoms with medication, and then, as I said, that surgery and G-tube have helped a lot with the failure to thrive. She's definitely gaining weight, and she looks great.
That's great. And that must feel so good to see her
It does.
thriving in that way. Georgia, what stands out about her personality and her spirit? I know that you said she's interested in seeing what's going on, kind of nosy about what's going on. I know she's nonverbal. How would you explain her personality and that communication, that interaction that you have with her?
Yes, Mickelea is nonverbal, but my interaction with Mickelea is sometimes I wonder, is she really nonverbal? Mickelea is a very loving, caring little girl. She loves to be hugged. She loves to be pampered. She loves kisses. And and the same token, she will tell you, she'll let you know with her facial expressions, her little cues that, no, no, not
Not
now, not
interested.
now. She has a way of saying, like, when I go in and I greet her, I said, hi, baby girl, how are you doing? She will respond with a little smile every now and then, okay? And she will, maintain eye contact with me, and she kind of respond like, when I'm speaking to her, she'll make little cute little sounds as if she's responding. Mickelea, she learns to say hi, but you have to listen very carefully when she'll say hi, and with a smile. What I share with a lot with people when they ask, how is Mickelea? I go to see her on a weekly basis. I try to do my best. And when I go to see her, I spend time with her, you know, combing her hair and stuff like that, making sure that she's okay. And over the years, I learned from Mickelea, when she's not liking something, she lets you know. So one of the ways she let me know, like when I'm braiding her hair, I do not want you in my head. Okay, if I'm on the right side, she'll push her head to the right and she'll push it into the chair. If I'm in the back, the same way. And she'll be literally cry to let me know she doesn't want that. And if you're standing in front of her, she's watching television, for instance, you go and you stand in front of her, she will not respond to you. No matter what you're doing, she will not respond to you. She'll give you that cold look. And the facial expression, the frowning and everything until when you move. When you move, then she will continue, you know, talking to you. I said Mickelea is very loving. She's caring. She loves to be kissed. And sometimes I feel like she wants to return it. You can see the movements and stuff like that, but she cannot. So that's my Mickelea.
How you explain her is beautiful, because I can tell how much you care about her and how much you've gotten to know her and how responsive she is. And you're picking up all of these cues, which I think is important for our viewers to know, because with any kind of relationship building, anyone who commits to her and loves her and provides this stability to her is going to experience that as well. From her. Lisa, you talked a lot about, you know, how she has grown and she has stabilized medically. Do you know, I know we can't forecast, but do you see continued growth and continued hope in how her medical, you know, how you see her with her medical needs?
I think she's stabilized a lot. So I think she's doing pretty well now. And I think she's just going to continue to thrive in her, as she is now. I don't foresee Mickelea being very verbal. She does say hi. I've heard her, and she probably will never walk, but she can give so much just with who she is. And she really loves school, which I don't know, you know, Georgia can tell you, she really loves school. The teacher at the where she is comes every day. And a couple times I've seen Mickelea like craning her head to see what the teacher's doing. And the teacher said she really enjoys school. The staff also says she really enjoys school. So I think if Mickelea were in the right place, she would give so much to her family, but being with the comfort of like the same people every day and the same smells and the same sounds. And she would really, I think, really reach her potential.
You know, for our viewers who are watching, I know we can't say where she is, but what type of environment is Mickelea living in now?
It's like a hospital type setting. So
staff is definitely dedicated and loving, but it changes. You know, the staff isn't, you know, they're coming and going in her life. So we're looking for a home for her with consistent caretakers, a family.
A family.
So let's talk about that. So support for foster parents. When a foster parent accepts a child with medical needs like Mickela's, what kind of training is available for them during those licensing stages? So let's just say one of our viewers sees this show and they say, we really want to learn more about Mickelea. We want to get licensed. Will supports be provided to them so that they can best care for Mickelea?
So they would be licensed through DCF, so they would get some of that licensing from the foster care division, but we also have a medical certification for foster parents program. So they and then they would get child specific training. So from her provider. So whatever is going on with Mickelea, each of her kind of medical concerns, so GI and like her respiratory, I told you she has to be orally suctioned. They would train the family to do that. And it wouldn't be like a one time, like here's an hour. It would be come in, learn, take your time. She wouldn't get sent home until the family says they're comfortable, but also the staff that's training feels comfortable that they understand that this family can take care of Mickelea.
Okay. And I'm sure if someone's watching, that's reassuring to know, because they may not have that medical background, but are willing to learn and willing to gain that knowledge that she needs. Georgia, how does DCF walk alongside foster parents in this journey? So if someone were to come forward and we went through this process and we're training them and they are visiting with Mickelea, and now they're in a place where they feel comfortable to have Mickelea home and the staff is comfortable with that child moving into the home, how does DCF support the foster parents and Mickelea?
With DCF, we work alongside with our foster parents very closely. We have like a team. First, we assign like a worker to each foster parent, a support worker, along with the foster care team, the foster care department. They are assigned a CPS team, a medical team, and the nursing team. Okay, and together we just work together. We have how would we work alongside with the foster parent? So for someone who is interested in Mickelea and come forward that they want to, what I would start doing is trying to meet, first I'd want that person to meet Mickelea in person. So I'd work alongside with the people where she's at and the nursing staff, of course, and her medical team to see how we can connect and make those visits happen, that connection. Once they meet with her and, we're at a place where we can continue, then I'll reach out to the foster care department to let them know, this person is interested. So can we, meet to talk about training? So, we have community settings where, of course, the foster parent can go to different events that they can learn more about fostering, as well as our ongoing trainings. Like Lisa mentioned, there are trainings that they have to do before even, we move on into the process of, assigning them to the child.
Right. Yes. And I think it's important for our viewers to know all that, and to know that once this match is made and this family is licensed, the family also has a support worker, correct? That they'll have, and which will guide them through that foster parenting role that they have. So I think, there's so many supports that we offer. And I think that you've both have beautifully explained the teamwork approach, because there's so many people wrapped around this one little girl.
Yes. And in addition to that, once they come on board, we have ongoing support groups that they actually meet in the community. And I think that is like the big bulk of, our support, working alongside with them, making sure that they feel, buffered.
Yeah. And that support from, we talk the talk, right? But we're not walking that walk of being a foster parent. We're not doing that day in and day out. So it's so important for our foster families to get that support from other families who know exactly what it's like to have this responsibility. It's a big responsibility. And I think that's great that you mentioned the support groups. And then there's also the fun recognition events that we have, and the fun days and the dinners and all that kind of fun stuff as well. And I think, and it might be in my questions, I haven't reviewed the questions that I prepared for both of you, but I'm sure, the families who get licensed to care for her are also financially reimbursed. They're getting a reimbursement to care for her, for any child. So whether one of our viewers is listening and something about Mickelea is they have interest in, or maybe another child in our program, there's financial support as well to reimburse them for the care for our kids. So Lisa, what would you say to somebody who may be watching and feels intimidated? I don't think I can do this. I really want to do this, but I feel too intimidated to even make that first call. What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, I would say people do a lot of things that they didn't think they can do, right? Lots of people have done things in their lives that they didn't think they can do. And I've been a nurse for a long time, and I've seen people who say, I can't, that have stepped up to the plate and have been an amazing for patients and for our children. And we've even had foster families that have had a child that didn't have any complex medical needs and then developed them while the child was with them, right? So they learned their care. It wasn't presented like Mickelea, who, was born this way. This was like a kid, and they stepped up to the plate. So I feel like if you are interested, you could definitely go meet her, and you can talk to you could talk to Georgia, you could talk to myself, any of the DCF staff to see what sort of supports are there. You can talk to the setting where she's in. You could speak to the staff there, and like what kind of needs would she require from them time wise, and medical equipment and that sort of thing, and just meet her and see if this would be a good match. I think to think that you can't, or you're scared, if you just give it an opportunity, you might be that person for her.
Right. I agree. So if anybody's watching, we encourage them to call, make the call, learn about fostering, go to an open house, learn about the program, and see if it's something for you. So that takes me to my next question, Georgia. So if somebody is watching right now and they feel like I want to do this, what would be the first step?
The first step would be to reach out to one of us. Like Lisa said, either myself, to her, one of the DCF staff, DCF office, local office. Our local office is in Bridgeport. So I say reach out to our local office in Bridgeport.
Okay.
I have to speak to someone in the foster care department or myself, and we'll take it from there.
So for our viewers, why don't you share what your email is? We're also going to have your email on the screen, but if you can just share what your email address is, and then if any of the viewers want to send you an email just to set up a conversation, what would your email address be?
My email is my first and my last name, so it's Georgia, GEORGIA .MARTIN @ct.gov.
Okay, that's perfect. And Lisa, why don't you also share your email address too, that people may want to talk to the nurse?
I have a very long email address.
Okay.
It's Elizabeth, ELIZABETH .N as in Nancy, .Bowen, BOWEN -Connor, CONNOR @ct.gov.
That is a long one, but we will have it on the screen as well. So Lisa, what about Michaela's personal, working with her, what has it taught you about resilience?
I think Mickelea is an amazing little girl. She started out, she struggled a lot in the beginning. She had failure to thrive. There was a time where people were very concerned about, whether Mickelea would even make it. So she is going strong. She's completely stable. She's gaining weight. She's very interactive, as Georgia said. She looks around. She likes music. She likes reading. So her medical needs aside, like, you really see the real personality come out in Mickelea that when she was a little baby, wasn't as obvious. So now that she's stable, she feels more comfortable. Physically comfortable. Her personality really shines through. And I think she would really be an excellent asset to anybody's family.
Well, and in listening to both of you speak today about Mickelea, it's very clear the love and commitment that you both have with her. Doing this work as a social worker and as a nurse and getting to know the children that we're involved with, it's heavy work. And they become, a part of our days. And you both advocating for her to find that perfect family. I really do hope that one of our viewers today, or, one of our viewers who may see the link to this show on YouTube or the other platforms where it is, will step up and at least make that first call to learn more about Mickelea. And then once they meet her, from how the both of you describe her, she may be able to convince them just in that interaction. Georgia, before we close, what moments keep you inspired to continue doing the work that you're doing every day?
That's a nice question. For me, social work is stressful in itself. In this field, especially working with DCF, it can be stressful. You see a lot of different things. What really keeps me going is knowing that I am making a difference in a child's life. When I have a child and I see that child, prospering, thriving, doing well, getting the best care that they can, being safe. So at the end of the day, I want to ensure that each child, especially ones that I come in contact with, are safe. In Mickelea case, have their forever home and thrive in that forever home. Get the love and the affection that they need. Because I believe that each child deserves that. To be loved, to be pampered, and to be safe. To be safe. If they're not safe and they have all the love and it's not meeting that need. For me, knowing that that child is safe and at home, getting all the love and the affection, all their needs are being met, that's what keeps me going.
Because it's a privilege, right? It's a privilege and an honor to do this work.
It is.
It is. Well, it was wonderful to have you both on the show. I really hope that we're able to have someone come forward for Mickelea, and you've shared your contact information, and that information will be on the screen as well. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, for having us.
To our viewers, children like Mickelea remind us of love and care can come in many forms. While medical needs may sound overwhelming, but with support and guidance, you could make a difference in Mickela's life. If you're interested in learning more about fostering, especially medically complex care, please contact the local DCF office in your area, or you can call 1-888-KID-HERO to learn about an open house that's being held in the community. Thank you for joining Doors to Hope and Healing. Until next time, let's continue to open our hearts and our homes to the children who need us. Thank you.
Host Kurt Barwis. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Andrew Lynn.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Wooden.
Decision for ourselves for this week, if we want to be made well.
Hi, welcome to the crack of dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi. I'm starting the painting. It's going to be the cliffs with some water. Love it.
He took me on the sets of Lost in Space, Batman.
Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time.